Hello and welcome again to Playwrights Roundtable. I'm Erika Cotton, your host, for this half-hour showcase of a 10-minute play and then a conversation with the writer and the director. Today we're going to watch The Bus Stop, a play written by Michael Garvey and directed by Erik Morris. Okay, viewers, get ready, sit back and relax. We're going to watch The Bus Stop.
Maybe... Is this... No? Huh. I have no idea where I am. This map is... worthless. I don't even think I'm on the map anymore. I was just supposed to be around the corner and down the street. And that was 30 minutes ago. I should have stopped walking. Oh, thank God, a sign. I don't recognize any of these stops. Where the heck am I? Well, maybe I can ask the bus driver how to get back, or maybe I'll just ride for a while. My feet are kind of tired. So let's see. The next bus arrives upon request. To request bus, raise your right leg and yell Marigold, except on every third Thursday in months that are people's names. People's names? Well, this has got to be some kind of joke. Well, thankfully it's not Thursday, and I never met anyone named February. Oh, thank heavens. Excuse me, oh.
Marigold!
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Will the bus be coming soon?
It may.
That Marigold stuff, that was a joke, right?
What?
A joke.
Sorry, come again?
Marigold!
You don't have to do that. I've already called for it.
How do you call for a bus?
Just like that.
Well, no, buses are supposed to come and go on schedule.
But what if there's no one here to ride it? Terribly inefficient, I must say.
Well, how does the driver hear you?
Never thought about it, actually.
Well, which way does this bus go?
Well, way.
Yes, way. Direction.
Sorry, not following.
When you get on the bus, to where does it take you?
Oh, I see.
And?
What?
Where does it lead you?
Oh, yes. Don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Sorry, can't help.
Why do you get on a bus when you don't know where it's going?
Beats walking, doesn't it?
Oh, great. Someone normal.
Pickles!
Don't worry, I've already called for it. How are you today?
Pickles.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
What did she say?
You didn't understand her? She was perfectly clear.
Hi, I hope you can help me. Your friend here's been unable to. I'm hopelessly lost. Could you tell me where this bus goes? Great. So where does it go?
Pickles.
What?
Pickles.
Pickles?
Pickles?
Well, I don't see any place called Pickles on my map.
I think he's a little thick in the head.
Pickles.
You can say that again.
Say that again? That's all she said since she arrived. She couldn't even say Marigold to call for the bus.
I'd already called for it.
Pickles.
You're welcome.
All right, where is it?
Pickles.
I don't think he means the bus, dear.
The camera. The video crew. This has got to be filmed for television, one of those candid camera type shows.
Pickles.
I told you he was a little thick in the head.
Pickles.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Coming on, sir?
What?
The bus. Are you coming on?
What bus?
This bus.
There's no bus. There's only you on a stick horse followed by two complete idiots.
All right, you can stay there then.
Wait! Wait. Where does this bus go?
Go?
Well, yes, where are you taking these people? Other than maybe back to the insane asylum.
Don't rightly know. Changes every day.
Changes?
Yes, sir, it changes.
Well, how? Why?
It's more fun that way.
Excuse me?
Well, if you always know where you're going, then you can't get anywhere else.
Oh, this cannot be real.
Yes, sir, it is.
No, it's not.
Sorry, sir.
You cannot tell me that this is a real bus stop.
Aha! That is true.
Ha! Wait. It's not?
No, sir. It's a surreal bus stop.
Of course it is.
Well, coming on then?
Why not?
Oh, that's the spirit. All right.
Pickles.
Every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart, I will pray.
Okay, our viewers have questions. I've got questions.
No questions.
Oh, yes, there are. Michael, starting
We'll
with
come
what
up
were you
with
drinking? All right, we're going to talk about the bus stop right after we take this brief intermission. We'll come back with Michael Garvey and Erik Morris on the bus stop. Stay with us.
All right, where is it?
Pickles.
I don't think he means the bus, dear.
The camera. The video crew. This has got to be filmed for television, one of those candid camera type shows.
Pickles.
I told you he was a little thick in the head.
Pickles.
You've just watched a quick clip from The Bus Stop, a one-act play written by Michael Garvey and directed by Erik Morris. Okay, now I could be a tactful PC kind of host here and try and come up with some intelligent questions, or I could just look at you, Michael, and say, I didn't get it. And I think that's where I'm going to start. That's going to be our jumping point. What were you going through at the time?
There really is nothing to get. It started as a unfortunately, somewhat of a tragic story. I was on a business trip in Europe, and one of my employees was visiting her family in northern Italy and had a real serious medical condition. I was able to make the money work, and my company was nice enough to let me fly to Venice to catch a sort bus and back to the airport, and then family visit up to where she was staying because she couldn't travel for 3 months. So it was, okay, let's go. But I was trying to do it on a budget, and so I'm not taking taxi cabs as my normal corporate life would allow me to do. But I was trying to get from my hotel back to the airport, and I saw a bus. I said, okay, I'll go to the bus stop and I'll wait and catch the bus. I gave myself more than enough time in the morning. I had about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to the airport, and I sat there and waited for the bus to come. And I watched like 15 go by in an hour, and not a one of them was the number I was looking for. And I kept checking the schedule on the wall and going, yeah, it's just, this is the number. I'm looking for the number 15 bus, and the number 15 never showed up. And I couldn't figure it out. I finally just jumped on another bus because I had to go. I had to get there. And I kept, because I didn't speak any Italian, and all of the schedule was in Italian. I learned later the difference between invernale and estivo, because this was July. And invernale, it means in the wintertime, the bus comes this far. Estivo, the bus doesn't come out this far, because I couldn't speak the language, and this was in Marghera, outside of Venice. There was nobody there speaking English, and we couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go. So that's kind of where the thought came from of, what if you were stuck someplace, you had no ability to communicate, but you had to get somewhere? What would you do? And then you run into some, the really strange people. Those were kind of unique. There's a little bit of Monty Python mixed in there, where in all the Monty Python sketches, there's always one person who is doing something absolutely ridiculous, and they're completely serious about it. So that's what I had the businessman and the other people come out to do, is do something completely ridiculous but seem perfectly normal to them. So the one person the audience would associate with was Alex's character, the traveler, and he would just go, what are you people doing? I don't get, huh? And so you question, either do you go along with the insanity, or do you just continue to fight against it? And you just, what the heck, let's go.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. If anyone's ever traveled internationally, I know I have, so I can see that.
Can relate to some of it.
I'm coming around. I'm coming around. Okay, so Erik, as a director of this play, how were you selected? Did you pick it? What were you thinking when you got it? And how were you able to make it entertaining?
Well, as is usually the case with the short productions that we do with Playwrights Roundtable, the producer goes out and finds and interviews the directors that he wants to use for the show. And Chuck, who produced this show, came to me and said, are you interested in directing this time around? I've done it a few times in the past. And I said, sure, of course, I'm interested. And just reading through the scripts, there were a couple that caught my eye, and I thought that this one was going to be fun and challenging. You know, have a lot of opportunities to do something new with it. So, so I took it on.
What caught your eye about it exactly? What made you say, I want to sink my teeth into this one?
The one thing that I really, there were actually two things. So let me go back. The two things, the two things that really caught my attention on it was the character Pickles. I liked that there was one character that did nothing but say the one word the entire time, and how can I play with that, and what's the backstory, and what's the actual conversation that she's having, and determining that, and just having such free range on a character to do whatever you want with it. That part I found very exciting. The other part, and I guarantee that this wasn't staged, was I had just come back from a trip to Munich. And taken the local bus system. Unlike Mike's trip to Venice, I speak a little bit of German, and more so than I thought when I first got there. So I was able to communicate pretty well, but still had a bit of a hard time figuring out exactly which direction every bus was going, and ended up getting lost in a section that I found out later was a place I really didn't want to visit. So that was kind of exciting. It was our own little like CIA operation going on, because we were inexplicably lost. So I had just come off my own little version of this experience. So
that gave you some inspiration to make it even more bizarre.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd never been lost in the German bus system, by the way. Never get lost in the German bus system. Italian.
I've never been to Italy, so, but they're all on the euro, so I think it's the same thing now. But we just wanted to have a lot of fun with it, and like Mike said, Monty Python was an inspiration. There's also a segment in the piece that when we performed it live, we built in basically a 1.5-minute pause into the show.
Yes,
and it was something that I told the actors to take it as far as it can be comfortable, then take it a little further. Then once it's uncomfortable, wait a little longer, and then do something else.
Yeah,
and if
that wasn't in the script. I recognized it when it came up, when he started. It's like, oh, okay. He's making the audience uncomfortable. Good. All right, he's got it.
Yeah, and it was one of those Monty Python for people our age or a little bit older, Family Guy for people a little bit younger. I'm right in between. I know both references. So it was our chicken fight. It was our funny walk. It was just something in there that we could really attack the audience with, which is always fun.
So tell me, either of you can chime in on this. When the actors were selected, I mean, did they come to you, Mike, and say, what do you want me to do here? Or when you're working with them, how were they handling the material? I'll let either one of you take that.
All right, my answer is going to be really quick. I didn't talk to him.
Okay.
I found the cast out about 2 weeks before the show. And Erik said, okay, here's the cast. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've worked with couples before. Yeah, okay, it'll be fine. And that's it. I mean, and so really it was, what I left them was what was on the page. And go. And I probably would have told, the only thing I would have said, I would have been really hilarious if Strauss comes out with an English accent. Starts talking like a proper Brit. Right. And throws that in there to really infuse the Monty Python. But really, that was the level of my involvement. I've worked with Erik before, back in previous events, and what he did with the script, he really understood it, he got it. And what I saw on stage, I really liked. So when I was pleased to hear that Erik was doing it again this time. So I was like, okay, it's in good hands. I just sit back and watch.
Erik.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is the second one of Mike's plays that I've directed, and in both of them there were a lot of opportunity to put in fun moments and not really distract from the story in the first one, or in this one sort of help build that abstractness along. Okay. And in previous interviews we've done, I know I've mentioned that I try to find something and make it clear, and even in this one I still went to the let's try and make it clear what's happening, and the thing that we took was the tourist is lost, he can't communicate. To the audience it's going to sound like everybody can communicate, everybody's speaking in English, but if you really watch what Alex is doing, the traveler, the tourist, you'll discover that even though he's hearing the words, he's not hearing what he's expecting back, and the people that he's interacting with are having a hard time with his vocabulary. So that's sort of the fun part, and that's my Munich infusion there. As for what I told the actors going into it, Valinsky, who played the bus driver, I said, be big, be bombastic, and he gave me a big smile and said, okay.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Wait. Where does this bus go?
Go?
Well, yes, where are you taking these people? Other than maybe back to the insane asylum.
Don't rightly know. Changes every day.
Changes?
Yes, sir, it changes.
Well, how? Why?
It's more fun that way.
Excuse me?
Well, if you always know where you're going, then you can't get anywhere else.
Oh, this cannot be real.
And with Pickles, Gabby Brown, she actually, when I interviewed her, when I auditioned her for the role, she actually never got to see the script. Everybody who auditioned for the role of Pickles, I had to do an improv scene. And I said, okay, tell me a story about whatever situation I could come up with. I think hers was going to a prom type dance, going to a prom like dance, and use any word that you want. And she used mayonnaise. And and it was such a, she took the word and she used the mayo and the mayonnaise and took it in all these different things, and you could clearly see through her actions and through her words what she was doing. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, she was the first one who auditioned, she was the best one who auditioned, and she got the role, and it was a lot of fun.
So in her long pause moment, she came up with those gestures.
Yeah, basically all that was Gabby, Alex, stand there and look at one another. Dave, go wander and do something. And Gabby took her time to basically torture Alex. Alex is a friend of mine who I've worked with a few times before. And I told him going into it, I'm like, we're going to make you uncomfortable.
You did.
Yep.
You did.
and he sort of winced at it. And I said, we're going to make you uncomfortable.
Do I get to keep my pants on? Yes. Okay, yeah. All right, good. That's all right.
Basically, yeah, it's like, do I have to wear the pink shirt again? We did a previous show where I put him in a pink shirt, and I'm like, no, we'll put you in something else. He's like, all right.
So Playwrights Roundtable really affords you the opportunity to branch out and do some very interesting plays and just let your creative spirit wander with it. Would you say that PRT gives you that opportunity?
Absolutely, and that's something I tried to do with this script, because in previous ones I've done, there's been some straight, drama, beginning, middle, end stories, and in some recent ones I've tried to change direction a little bit. And this one I wanted to play with some absurdism, just some break from reality. It's not a real straight up story with a moral at the end, or you leave the audience feeling something. We'll just leave the audience feeling weird, and hopefully they're laughing along the way. So it allows me to kind of play around with some of those structures and forms to really try something different.
What about you and your experience with playwrights, Erik?
Well, I've always enjoyed being able to do a show with Playwrights Roundtable. I've become more involved over the years, and really try to latch on to this group as often as possible, because it really does give people an opportunity to hone their craft, to learn their craft, or to experience a new craft. I came back to the Orlando area as an actor and a technical designer or technical stagehand, and this directing thing has just sort of been something that PRT has allowed me to experience and cultivate and grow into. And I've really been enjoying it over the last few years, getting more comfortable and getting to experience new absurd plays and new dramas and new comedies and
We'll
somewhere
give
in
you a serious
between.
family drama to do one of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
But yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of self-taught education. There's always a support group there to help you, but there's this free range to go out there and just go out and try it, and that's exciting.
And that is one of the advantages of the short play format. You just kind of get in, get out. It's only 10 minutes. The pressure on the actors, hopefully, isn't too bad with big, huge, long chunks of dialogues and monologues to worry about. I don't know, rehearsal time was probably 4 to 6 weeks, but
Yeah.
something close to that. It doesn't take them that long to get there, but it does give you a chance to try some things and play. And for some guys, play out of type. Typically I get cast in these kind of roles. I want to try something different. Okay, here, let's try this.
Yeah, and it's not to say that any of the actors or anybody involved in the show is putting any less effort towards it. Just the fact that everything's a little bit more condensed sort of helps with schedules, especially when you have a larger group. 4 is okay, but if you get any larger than that, you have a lot of conflicting schedules that go back and forth. And,
Right.
And occasionally we have multiple people in similar shorts for a production, so multiple directors are sharing the same acting resources, which we had to do this time around as well.
Gabby's dialogue is pretty easy.
Yeah, Gabby's was pretty easy. Day one, I said,
Pickles.
you better have all your lines down.
Yeah, one of the other playwrights met me and said that he used her in a previous show, and she had no lines the entire show. She was on and off stage the entire time, never said a single line. It's like, what? She got to get used to this. She's moved up to 1.
Yeah, she's moved up to 1. Next time she'll have 1, 2,
Right.
3 lines.
Well, any directors out there, if you need a actress who can do something with no lines or 1 line,
It's
Gabby Brown.
That's right.
That's
An
your girl.
extensive resume for that
Yes.
one.
Any parting words from either of you on those who may be interested in joining Playwrights Roundtable or writing for the first time?
If you're writing for the first time, give it a shot. Try it. It's the worst thing you could do is stop and let the fear stop you. The first script I ever finished, I submitted to this group years ago, and it was accepted for production in one of the summer shorts, which stunned me. It was kind of, I'd never done this before. I'm an engineer. I'm not that creative, but it worked. And I just spent some time with the District 5 Thespian competition as a playwrights competition judge, and saw the high schoolers coming up. There's a lot of talent in this town for writers. I mean, they still have to find their voice. They have to see a little more of a positive worldview. Kind of bleak sometimes during high school, and it comes out in what they write. But
High
still,
school angst, I tell you.
yes, there's a lot of talent out there. So you just got to give it a shot and put it down on paper, see what happens. And you'll find groups like Playwrights Roundtable and other actors and groups in town who are willing to work with you and kind of let your talent go. But see some theater, go out, experience it, whether it's any of the local theater groups, Fringe Festival, anything you can. The more you can, for me, the more I can absorb it, the better off I am.
Well, for anybody who's trying to reach out and hone their playwriting craft or just figure out if they like playwriting at all, Playwrights Roundtable is definitely a good stop for that person. We do readings of new material from members and non-members with some local actors and local directors every month, usually the second Sunday of every month, sometimes not the second Sunday, but you can always find out when we're doing them through our, get ready for a list, through our sites on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, playwrightsroundtable.org.
And when we first started doing this play in 2004, none of that was around.
Right, but now it is, and we're everywhere, and we try to let everybody know what it is that we're doing, and
PRT's mission hasn't changed
Right.
since we first started doing this.
Very good.
it's always been to cultivate new local and international and national playwrights and new plays for the American and international theater. So that's what we target, and that's what we aim to do. And whether it's a musical, a full length, a short play, a one act, something in between,
You've got it.
Yeah, bring it in. We'll be happy to help you cultivate the process and cultivate the play. And whether it's something we produce or something you send off somewhere else or produce yourself or just an event that you want some feedback on, we're open to helping.
And we're
that's the
open
goal.
to producing it here at Orange TV. So
That's right.
Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. I feel a lot better now.
That you didn't get it. Good, there was nothing to get,
now
Erica. It's
but now I
okay.
can feel good about getting what I didn't get. How about that? So thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you back again soon. And thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the bus stop, and we'll see you again soon with Playwrights Roundtable.
Pickles.
Playwrights Roundtable provides opportunities for authors to have their work read by professional actors. Members of Playwrights Roundtable have seen their works go from cold readings to workshop productions and on to successful full productions. If you love the craft, Playwrights Roundtable is the place. For more information, contact Playwrights Roundtable at 407-788-8468 or check out the website www.playwrightsroundtable.org.